I had to be rushed to the hospital a couple of weeks ago when we were having those really high temperatures. And I could not believe that everything was going so crazy for me. I was in the kitchen cooking and I felt like I was having a heart attack. I just kept feeling something going up and squeezing my heart, and I didn't know what in the world to do. I had my little grandson here, my son was here, my mom was here, and I called. Well, actually, I sent my son a text and said, I think I'm having a heart attack. And he called 911 and they rushed me by ambulance to the hospital. I got there and I was there by myself. And things just, they asked me all the different things that they ask you, you know, what happened. And I explained I was just cooking and cleaning and, trying to make sure everybody had what they needed. But I was hot and sweating profusely. But the thing that got me was when I started having this just pain reach up and grab my heart and yank it. And it hurt so badly that it was like gonna bring me to my knees. And I got to the point where I was crying. And so they checked my heart and my heart seemed to be fine. So I'm like, okay, so God, what in the world could this be? I'm praying all the way to the hospital. I can't see because of the fact that, I'm blinded by pain. And the ambulance staff is like, ma'am, we hope that you will be okay. And, they were very kind to me. I got there and I was so happy that they were able to give me some fluids and things to start trying to get me back together. They did the troponin test for my heart, came back saying that I was not having problems with my heart. Do you know what it was? Heat exhaustion and heat cramps. Believe it or not, heat cramps can make you feel like you are having a heart attack. And so, even though it was not the kind of emergency I anticipated, it could have become that kind of emergency because those heat cramps can get that bad that they can affect your heart. So I did have to go ahead and do my follow-up at my doctor's office for this emergency room visit. Okay, I don't mind going and doing my follow-ups. I have a history of lung nodules and lung cancer, as you guys very well know. Channel is Life with Lung Cancer, and I'm Donnie. I have mixed restrictive and obstructive lung disease. My doctor has determined that I have mixed hyperlipidemia after me having my chylothorax once I had my lung cancer surgery, and that's where the milky substance came out of my chest tube after my surgery due to my cholesterol being too high at that point. And so now he's going to have me do a lipid panel as a result of that. My blood pressure when I went to the office that day was too low. And they said that low blood pressure can be as bad as having high blood pressure because that also affects your heart and can eventually cause you to have a heart attack because it can go too low. I have been having chronic fatigue, nausea, vomiting. Heck, the other day, well, okay, so it was a couple of weeks ago, but I was coming up my steps and I fell up the steps and onto the kitchen floor, flat. I usually carry my phone in my hand because I said, okay, if anything ever happens to me, I need to be able to dial 911 right quick. That didn't happen. My phone flew past me and down the basement steps. So therefore, it made me revisit the fact that maybe I need to get a medic alert where I can either have a necklace around my neck and just push the little button or have a bracelet on or something where I can always be able to contact people in case something goes wrong, in case there's an emergency, because you never know. But those were some of the things that have happened to me. When I was at the hospital, it seemed somebody stole my identity. And so I ended up having to deal with that as well. You just never know what's going to happen in a day of life. I also go through chronic fatigue, nausea, vomiting, and I've been having some intense bone pain. So that's led to my doctor going ahead and doing some additional testing for me. So we are going to explore a right upper quadrant ultrasound because it could be something going on with my pancreas or my gallbladder. He's thinking gallbladder. So he said maybe I have some gallstones or something that may be blocking some area and making me uncomfortable. I've had this pain since I had my surgery a year ago. Well, over a year ago now, because it was in March of 2025, and it is now July, almost August of 2026. So I'm glad that he's starting to take that seriously, because I've been telling every doctor that I've seen I'm having pain and it has not stopped, and it's really, really bad, and it's uncomfortable, and it's uncomfortable like this every day. I don't know what's going to come of it. I hope that it will be nothing or something that is fixable easily, but you never know, you know. But anyway, so as well as all of that that's going on, they're going to do the bone scintigraphy, which is a nuclear medicine test. So they use a radioactive tracer to go through your body, and that will determine if there's any bone breakdown going on, because x-rays can see a little bit of something, CT scans can see a little bit of something, MRIs can see a little bit of something, but when you get that bone scintigraphy, it allows them to go in there with that radio tracer, and it's kind of like the PET scan, but it will focus on the bone specifically, because with the PET scan, that will also focus on your body parts, but it focuses a lot more on your soft tissues. We are going to explore a brain MRI for all these massive headaches I keep having. I'm having some memory loss, which is getting to be rather annoying. But you sit up there and you go in one room and walk out the other, and you're like, what I go in there for? And then you walk back to the other room and you say, oh yeah, that's what I did. That's what I forgot about. That's why I went in here in the first place. Well, it tends to happen as we get older. It happens, I believe, to pretty much everybody. But when it is as consistent as it's become for me, when it is affecting your daily life and affecting other parts of your life, eventually it's something you need to get investigated, especially when it's having these headaches that are severe and they're coming every day. You need to look into it, and just better to be safe than sorry. So we're going to have a brain MRI with contrast, because we found that the brain MRI without contrast cannot determine if there's anything going on with a cancer lesion. It unless you have a big enough issue that can be seen on the scan, like a golf ball size tumor or mass. But if you only have a very small mass, it's not going to be picked up. So the brain MRI scan with the contrast will pick up even the smallest little detail. It's not going to be able to run and hide from it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, the other thing that we're going to do is, we said the brain MRI, the bone scintigraphy, the ultrasound, and my lipid panel. So those are the tests I'm going to be having coming up soon. And I will come back here again to let y'all know what happened on that. I have mild intermittent asthma as well, and I've been having some acute exacerbations, which are asthma attacks. I've had those pretty regularly. And so they're concerned about it because my breathing still has not returned to normal after my 2 surgeries for the lung cancers and after taking my controller inhaler and my rescue inhalers. And I've had the pulmonary therapy, which is where you go and you do some exercises. They teach you how to eat, they teach you how to breathe. And I had to stop them in the wintertime because of the fact of my asthma being so severe in the wintertime. But something that I found, even though I have my own nebulizer machine at home, if you had a nebulizer machine at home and you only use it at home and you never go to the hospital for your exacerbations, it does not allow them to keep a record of what's really going on with you and how your asthma is severely affecting you. So there are times when you really should go to the hospital if you do not go. That's something that I'm learning. You may hear my voice sound a little bit strange, and it breaks up a little bit. It sounds raspy to me, but if you guys don't know what I really sound like in my everyday life, you can't probably hear it. Sometimes you may see me straining to breathe. But this has been a part of my life since I've had this last surgery. And I'm praying for y'all. Y'all may see that I've changed up things a little bit. I'm not doing as many talking head videos. I'm doing more of the prayers for the shorts, and also I am doing some posts which show off a lot of my artwork, where I take photos of the clouds in the sky, and a lot of them that look like faces or little different things or beautiful sunsets. I like to focus on the faces in the sky because it just amazes me. And they're actual pictures. I don't use AI for those pictures. So I hope that you guys enjoy them. I hope that you continue to support me for my videos, for my prayers, and also for now my posts. I'll put a little story up behind the post, whatever God lays on my heart that day. But I want you guys to know that I pray for you. I pray for all my subscribers. And I just love you guys, because you start building a community and you start feeling a part of something besides yourself. I'm sharing with you guys what God has put on my heart, and it's something that I hope and pray is blessing you. I hope that it's bringing value to your lives. And you guys are bringing value to my life. I actually watch a lot of different YouTube videos myself just to find out things like what the lipid panels may involve or how the scans work. I went online to see how the bone scintigraphy worked and saw that it was a 3 to 4 hour procedure. I didn't know anything about it being that long, but they said that you don't even have to change clothes. You don't have to go through all the stuff that you usually go through with these other scans that we go through, where we have to make sure we don't have metals on and take off our jewelry. They said, no, you just go and you lay in the machine. They might strap your arms down with this heavy material to keep your hands still. They put a rubber band on your feet so that you can keep your feet still. But overall, YouTube has been something that's helped me out, and me sharing my experiences with my lung cancer journey, my medical experiences that I go through. I hope that it helps you all as well. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them, because I'm more than willing to answer for you. Like, share, and subscribe if I am providing you with value. And I will see you the very next time. God bless.